Applique stitches are still a very popular way to use a sewing machine. We were just finishing up the blanket stitch applique and working with stitch number 60. There's lots of different ways that you can use your decorative stitches. It doesn't have to be this one, but they're so adjustable. You can get them exactly where you want it to go. But for satin stitching, your machine has stitch number 7. Stitch number 7 is a satin stitch that you can adjust. Now, first off, I do find a stitch width of 6 is pretty wide. Plus, if I'm going around something this small, I want to make sure that I'm not overpowering the applique shape and size. So I might even bring it down to I'm going to do 3.0 just to kind of get it started here. You do notice that it does recommend the 2A foot with some stabilizer and no dual feet. But, so I can see where I'm going, I am cheating a little bit, and I picked up the open toe foot from Pfaff with the IDT option. There is both a metal version and a plastic version. So I just have the plastic one on. The only major difference is this is cheaper, but can break if you hit it wrong. And if you don't want things to break, the metal one is definitely more solid. They both have the lines that I'm going to speak of. So I'm going to just put on the clear one for right now. And then we'll talk about where we can line things up. So what's nice about the Pfaff machines is that you have the ability to adjust a couple things with this. You can adjust how close together the stitch width is. So if I'm using a little thicker thread, so I might not want it too close together, but if you had a thinner thread, you might squeeze this built-in satin stitch a little closer. And we can also have the choice by touching the Alt button to actually move this stitch to the left or to the right. So see how it's actually moving? So it's actually shifting the stitch to, say, the left side of the foot. And you can use one of the lines that's on the foot to help you guide around the shape. The other thing that you could do, and this would take a little practice, but remember we have the tapering option. So as I come down to this little star point, I could actually set to taper into a degree or into an angle so it's not so thick. And you could add the tapering feature to the satin stitch. So probably not for today, but it is a great thing to work with. That, like I said, just takes a little practice. So for right now, notice that I have shifted the satin stitch to the left so that when the needle swings over to the right, it's lined up with that red mark on the back of the foot. So then that way I have something to kind of watch as I am guiding my fabric around. So here's where I can come right to, this would be where that tapering would come in. So I might stop, and I'm stopping with my needle in the down position. And then that way I can kind of come in and get this to do exactly what I want. But as I can follow along, I've got guides everywhere to truly give me the right pivoting location. And again, stopping with that needle in the down position lets that foot pop back up, and I can easily work my way around in any direction. Love a satin stitch, but just remember you've got all these other decorative stitches too, so you're not locked in to just a satin stitch or just a blanket stitch.